So strange to be standing out here again. I almost didn't make it. I escaped, barely. If only... Oh. Destiny cannot be changed. Westguard is under attack. Yet the Shaikan, the only remaining link between the people of Io, are still holding out. But for how long? Change is in the air. A new dawn is about to begin. But never is darkness deeper than before the new dawn. Harbingers of doom are spreading throughout the world. Io is breaking apart. The Nameless, demons of pure cruelty, hunger to kill everything living. Driven by their leader, Zazut, these creatures know no bounds. I was there when he was set free. I felt his rage, his hunger for power. I felt the doom he is about to bring down upon us. But who is he? What is he? What makes him that powerful? With him at their head, the Nameless will destroy everything we know. Not even the Shaikan, with their dragons, can resist his wrath. Two souls intertwined. The Shapers foresaw Zazhut's return, but they are gone and can't give answers to those most pressing of questions. Our greeting says, when darkness is deepest, the Silver Weaver will guide your way. Will the gods finally step in? How was Zazhut imprisoned in the first place? Why did the gods choose this Shaikan to bring about Zazhut's freedom? And why did they choose my daughter for it? I am Craig Unshalak, sent by my god and friend Irion. But why did he send me to the wastelands of sorrow? To witness the beginning of doom. To see my daughter die. To come too late. Darkness is deepest. But the Silver Weaver and the God of Knowledge and Wisdom guide my way. And if anyone can bring a new dawn, then it's the Shaikan.
As the Shapers foresaw, so it happened.
You knew it was him. Couldn't you have done something?
It was his destiny. There was nothing we could do.
So he is lost. His life, his memories, his soul.
No. His life might be lost, but not his soul. They can't destroy that.
But what, or who, is this Zazhut?
Our memories go back far, beyond the reach of humans or even elves, but even we don't know what he is. But you, Norcane, you know who he is.
No, I don't know, but I was sent by someone who does.
You were sent? By who?
By Irion himself. You must go to him yourself to understand his intentions.
So the Guardians take an interest in this world after all these years, but even we are unable to reach them in their realm.
Not without dying first. And I have defied the Morduin so often that I might make it.
There might be another way, venerable dragons. A trial, created by the gods themselves, for mortals to prove their worth and reach their realm alive.
Ha! That's what old Colin was always bragging about. Somewhere in an inland, he said. Now, what did he call it?
The stepping stones.
Exactly, Shaikan. This is where you have to go, and quickly.
Now, Norcane? While we're still under attack?
Very much so, I'm afraid. The undead have just breached part of our defenses.
I will take over the command of our troops. Halikos, you will organize the defense within the city, especially the tower. Iro, Shay, muster the Hand and the Dragons, so that we've got a backup force at our disposal.
Oh, but...
I need to let off some steam. And what better way than killing some undead? And Craig, the last word has not yet been said on this matter.
Very well, Shaikan. Talk to my lieutenant. He can help organize our defense.
The situation is now under control inside the city walls. But the gates were left open to allow refugees in, and now the undead are pushing in.
Where are these gates?
South and west.
Back away from her!
I am not your enemy, Demon Hunter.
What did you call me? Who are you?
I'm Kellar. We've met several times, Kane. When you came here to Westguard.
Westguard? Westguard?
Oh.
Sariel.
This looks bad, Kane. We need to get her to the healers.
You are right, Dragon. Show me the way.
You don't remember us? Or this place?
It's all a blur. I don't know whether I can trust you, although you look familiar.
Then let's waste no more time talking. Follow me.
She'll be all right. Our best healers are looking after her now.
My thanks, Lieutenant. And to you also, Kellar, for guiding them here. Will you join our party? I could do with your help.
I'm needed elsewhere, little one. We're gaining ground, but the battle is far from over yet.
I understand. What of you, Kane? You've lost your memory. Don't you recognize me or remember our adventures together?
Only in parts. I remember a journey, I think. I see images flashing. The city's ship. Queen Sancha dying. And then pain. Just pain.
Well, you haven't come from the city ship, that's for sure. Where did you come from?
I wish I could remember. I still remember how to fight, though. And I think you could use another sword arm. Will you let me join you?
An honor to have you at my side, old friend, with or without all your memories.
We did it, but I sense an evil presence. Beware, Shaikan. We're not done here yet.
I sense it. We've still to face the enemy leader.
And no ordinary foe, either. A powerful, undead black mage. A lich. The city!
We have to get back. Halico's forces are desperately outnumbered. Let's hope we're not too late.
Shaikan, I failed.
Spare your strength, Halicos. Let me give you my blood, and we'll soon have you ready to fight again.
No, Shaikan. My battle is over here. I told the Soul Carrier a long time ago that I'd never be made one of your kind. It is my fate to die here.
I have healers here. Let the blood mages do their work.
Don't fool yourself, Shaikan. These wounds are beyond the power of even your best healers. And we both know it. Save Westguard. Save the tower.
The Tower of the Shaikan.
The Lich. His space. The cemetery.
Halicos.
He's gone, Elder. There's nothing more you can do.
There is something I can do. Send that abomination back from whence it came.
We are saved!
Scout, go forward and monitor all the enemy's movements. Report back to me.
Yes, sir. At once, sir.
Just what my old bones needed. A fight like that to feel young again.
And then I'll find another one for you. See how the Lich has set up camp in the valley and trapped himself? We'll gather all our strength, then make him pay for that mistake.
Fools! You don't think it is over. This was just the beginning.
At last! You? How is this possible?
It seems that the dragons were right after all. My soul was trapped, but it didn't belong to my captor.
I wish I understood what this meant.
You will, child. It is what we told him to believe in.
But you sent him to his doom.
No, to his destiny.
Your words still ring in my ears. Destiny cannot be changed. But did it have to be Antara's destiny too? Or Eo's? Or Surian's?
Why don't you tell us what happened? We know that a being called Zazut was freed by the connection of you and Night Song.
How?
I told them, but I wasn't able to stay, for Zazut's power would have consumed my soul. So what happened?
Zazut's rage was upon us like a mountain crushing a flower. Nameless kept spawning from every corner, and soon our troops were gone along with our base. Io, Antara, and I stood our ground, but we had lost sight of Surian, Kain, and Sariel. The Shadow Warrior seemed to have disappeared into the Shadow Realm, for I didn't see either him or Nightsong again. Then a fireball brought the walls tumbling down on us. Io was crushed and Antara badly wounded. I tried to heal her, but then my whole world turned red when Zazut himself crushed my body. Antara's scream was the last thing I heard before I awakened as this abomination. I'm sorry that I failed you.
Failed me? Why do you think you failed me?
Because you told me to seek enlightenment in Iron Fields, and all I found was death and sorrow.
You found your destiny, and because you had faith in yourself and what the dragons told you, you can now continue towards the Morduin.
I will take him with me. His sufferings are over.
Aren't you coming with us?
So you decided to follow my summons. I'm glad to hear that. My vow to Erion forbids me to tell you more or to help you any further, except to tell you where to go. We'll see each other again, when you have mastered the stepping stones.
Kellar, can you...
Of course, little one. He already told me where to go. My wings are tired, the air is thick, and I'm starting to breathe like I was carrying a whole mountain.
What's wrong, Kellar? Are you hurt?
It's all right, little one. It is the aura of this place. The magic is overwhelming. I just can't go on from here.
Can't you carry us a little higher?
No, little one. The magic seems to hold me back, repel me. I can't go on.
Return to Westguard then, old friend. Iro and the others can use your help and guidance.
I will miss you, little one. Westguard will not fall.
Deja vu.
How so?
I just remembered Surian bidding us farewell in Malangar Greens. I have a bad feeling about this place.
I wish I knew what happened to Surian.
He is dead, Elder. His fire killed many nameless until he was struck down. It was his courage that gave me time to escape with Sariel.
I only wish you could have saved more. But we have to move on. Somehow past these islands and reach the realm of the gods, like Craig said.
We could start with that rock there, Elder. Feel the power radiating from it?
Welcome, mortals, to the realm of the gods.
Thank you, Lord Hirin.
Before you continue your journey to our city, let me give you some instructions as to the nature of this place.
Hello?
The journey spell that brought you here from the stepping stones has transferred you not only to another place on Io, but to another dimension within the fabric of this whole world.
It can't hear you.
It's just talking on and on as if it had no life at all.
I hear you well enough, Shaikan, and you too, Demon Hunter.
Well, then we might get some answers.
Not so fast, mortals. I'm not here to discuss anything with you. This is not your place. You do not belong here.
But we've made it this far.
And? Just because my dear brother told you about the stepping stones doesn't mean you're going to be welcomed here with open arms.
I liked the other hearing better.
That was me 30,000 years ago, after we created the stepping stones as a challenge for the Shapers to reach our realm.
30,000 years ago?
I'm not here to teach you a lesson in history. I intended to throw you out again, because my brother couldn't stop meddling with mortal affairs. But as you are here now, you might even prove useful to me. And even to yourself.
How so?
A couple of days ago, a huge portal appeared in the south. Deluded and unresponsive spirits started streaming out, trying to force their way into the city. The gates were closed, and there wouldn't have been more to do. But the willing spirits, ready to accept their destiny, now have to wait outside too. And this noise is disturbing our meeting.
The noise? Of course it is.
The gates will only open once the portal and all that came through it is gone.
Why don't you do it yourself? You could let it rain down fire and be rid of them.
Don't question my motives, mortal. You want to enter the city? Fulfill my quest. See it as an 11th stepping stone. Only one that's a real challenge.
I just love quests that are impossible to complete.
Don't lose heart. What's the problem? All we have to do is defeat hundreds of enemies and destroy their siege weapons and a heavily guarded portal.
Well, when you put it like that...
Oh, I wish we hadn't closed the gates. Look at all the spirits now, wanting to enter the city.
Hello, sir. I hope your death wasn't too painful.
Hello, milady. Did you have a pleasant passing?
Excuse me.
Hello there. Did you have the death you wished for?
I'm not dead.
Oh, no.
Yes.
There's always one in denial.
No.
But why now? Couldn't they have come when the rush was over?
Excuse me.
That's the way it goes, brother. We're the ones in the...
Excuse me.
What do you want from me? You're dead. So get in line, draw a number and wait till you're called.
But I'm not dead.
Yes, you are. Otherwise you wouldn't be here, so get in line.
Look at me. Do I look like a spirit?
So, you managed to retain your corporeal form. Great. Go haunt some abandoned castle or get in line.
It's nothing we've never seen before. Do you remember the one with the green shoes and the waving hair?
You mean the one that constantly shrieked, "A dragon! A dragon!"
I'm here at the explicit wish of Erion the Wise. Craig and Shalak summoned me here.
Ah, it's the godly summons tactic now, is it? But I do remember Craig and Shalak.
Oh, he was difficult back then. Very difficult.
Constantly bragging about having to return for his daughter.
What do you think? Which tactic will he try out next? Fighting or pleading?
Your god Hirin ordered me to throw back the attack of the evil spirits. And...
So it's because of you that all these spirits are streaming in. Thank you so much.
No, he said that I could enter the city afterwards.
Which you can. Just get in line, draw a number and wait till you're called.
There's only 7,352 spirits before you, but you've got all eternity to wait.
But...
9.
Now look, it's only 7,351 before you. Here, take your number and get in line.
Good. He's gone.
Quickly, through the gate.
Damn, it's locked.
Maybe Craig can get through and ask Erion to come out.
No, these gates are magically protected. Spirits can't pass through them.
Ah, then we're stuck again.
Maybe not. There is a way that isn't protected by overseers and a gate.
And you thought about this just now?
To reach the arena, which has a direct connection with the Great Hall, we have to cross several districts.
I don't see why this would hinder us.
You are solid. I can pass through anything that is not magically protected, but you cannot.
So?
Districts are separated by walls and gates, which are solid and can only be opened magically.
Again. So?
How would you pass through them?
You said they can be opened magically. Can't you show us how, or do it yourself?
I've never had a gift for magic, and I don't know the spell. But there are spirits who like to move around in their solid form, and not as ethereal spirits.
Then let's find one of those spirits and hope they can help us.
This has gone far enough, brother.
Oh, come on, brother! I was just teasing them.
You've had your little game. Now I want a word with them.
Very well.
Forgive my brother, or should I say brothers. You've met two of them so far. Not in the best of moods, unfortunately.
Why are they in such a bad mood?
Can't you work it out for yourself, child?
Serbo is probably just bored. That's why he plays the trickster. And Hirin, he seems to be torn between your request to help the world and his own principle not to meddle with mortals.
Well spoken, Shaikan. We've debated Zazut's return for a long time, even before it happened. Yes, even before your protege set out for Iron Fields to meet his destiny.
So you knew? You knew all along this would happen?
Yes, we knew. But before you condemn us, I want to give you a riddle. There were two brothers fighting side by side in a great war. When one was wounded, the other helped him up and covered his back. When one was thirsty or hungry, the other would feed him. They were there for each other. One day, the elder of the two decided he had had enough of war and turned to leave. The other brother was torn. He loved the fight, but he loved his brother too. What decision should this brother now take?
If he leaves the war, he loses his love for battle and has to adapt to totally new circumstances. And there was the question of whether the brothers would get along in their new surroundings. But if he stays, he or his brother might be killed, or they might become estranged from each other. This is an impossible decision. The brother would lose no matter which decision he takes.
You see the dilemma which presented itself to us. We chose the way that seemed best suited to save Io, although it meant sorrow and pain for you and for so many others.
Io, Antara, Sancha, Wind, Whisper, Alikos, Syrian.
Yes, child. We mourn their passing just like you do.
I came here with so much anger and hatred, and now there's just nothing.
I think you met someone at the gates who told you another riddle about a murderer.
Shan Muir.
Yes, Shaikan. You'd be wise to take her advice seriously.
I just don't know enough yet. You are the god of knowledge. Please, can't you answer my questions?
I prefer to be called Guardian, child. I'm powerful, but no god. The answer to your request must be no. I'm bound by our collective decision not to share any knowledge with you unless you found pieces of it yourself.
You mean you can't tell us how to defeat Zazut unless we find out for ourselves?
Listen carefully, Shaikan. I'm bound by our collective decision not to share any knowledge with you unless you found pieces of it yourself.
Can you share with us the knowledge of where we might find such pieces?
I can't, but I could send you on an errand to the Citadel of the Shapers. Would you please bring this book back to the Library of the Shapers? I've opened a journey spell for you, so that you can carry out my errand more easily. And I will do another thing for you. Your party seems to be quite small, so I suggest that you select one of these 6 heroes, whom I summon to this hall. He or she will get her life back, and will be able to join you on your mission.
Dragon blood included?
Dragon blood included.
What will happen to them after my mission is over?
You're confident that you'll prevail? That is good, Shaikan. What would you suggest?
I think I'd leave that decision up to them, whether they want to remain living, or whether they want to return here.
Well spoken, Shaikan. So it shall be.
Excuse me, my Lord Arion.
Yes, Craig. What ails you, my friend?
It's just, why didn't I get my body and life back when you recruited me for your missions?
You're jealous, my dear Dracon.
Perhaps, my lord.
You shall get your body back, for you too shall accompany them. Your mission is far from over yet.
Thank you, my lord.
Don't thank me too early, Craig. There are dark times ahead for you and for all of you. Farewell, then. I'm sure we'll meet again before all this is over.
The Citadel!
You sound excited.
I've wanted to visit this place ever since the Soul Carrier told me about all the knowledge stored here.
Well, knowledge isn't what I remember from the last time I was here.
I spoke with the Shaper Conqueress too, Kane, and she told me that apart from 3 very strange undead, this place held many wonders. Strange? Nightsong said that the Norcane wanted to build a base here, as they'd found something very interesting.
Then let's look for them. I've got a bad feeling about this.
For Nor!
Stand down, Dracon!
A Dracon? How is that possible? Craig?
When darkness is deepest.
The Silver Weaver will guide your way.
Craig.
When Sorvina forged that abominable pact with the Shadows, a civil war broke out within the Norcane. As the one who carried the seal of the Norcane, I led my fellow Dracon against Sorvina's army of Archon and Sinistrim.
Yes, I remember.
I burdened my daughter with the seal, and she prevailed with the help of the Soul Carrier. But the Dracon caste was gone, rooted out by Sorvina's ruthless schemes.
No, not all Dracon were dead, my lord.
But I don't remember teaching you, and I taught all new Dracon. And yet, you know our greeting.
I was born Sinistrim, my lord.
Sinistrim?
Yes. I was one of the best sword fighters still alive after the great battles of Shal. The Archon and Sinistrim only reluctantly succumbed to Nightsong's rule. Your daughter knew that. Even with the protection of the Shadow Warrior, she needed Norcane she could trust.
And so she set out to rebuild the Dracon caste. But how?
I really would like to hear about that, but I think we have more pressing matters at hand. Why did you attack us?
We thought you were the Naldramar.
What in Aeonia's name is the Naldramar?
This is ridiculous. It's an ancient legend among the Norcane.
When Nor still roamed the lands of Io to scatter the earth with silver as pure as the moon itself, he one day came by a woman called Annie Hugh. She was a shaper, and her hair flowed like pure silver along her back. Nor was stricken with love for this shaper woman. It was to her that he showed the deepest secrets of moon silver crafting.
It is said that Annie Hugh wrote down all of those secrets, and that her notes would take the art of moon silver crafting to unknown heights.
But Annie Hugh was killed in a freak explosion, and her notes were lost. The legends differ in that respect. All that remained of her was a lock of her pure silver hair. It is said that Nor's rage knew no limits, and so, from the lock of her hair, he created a most hideous monster. Strong like 10 titans, and nearly invulnerable to physical attacks, because he was protected by moon silver armor wrought by Nor himself.
The Naldramar?
Yes, Shaikan, that is the Naldramar. Legend tells that it wreaked havoc in the city of the Shapers, until Nor finally withdrew his creature on behalf of his fellow guardians.
You were searching for Annie Hugh's notes. That's what you were looking for in these ruins.
Indeed. When we finally laid hands on the notes, buried deep within the library of the Shapers, the Sinistrim archaeologist immediately wanted to open it. I told her not to, as we first had to make sure we could take on the Naldramar.
Don't tell me. You thought that the Naldramar would rise again as soon as the notes were opened.
I don't like your tone, Demon Hunter. But yes, that's what I and many others believed.
What happened?
That Sinistrim. She called me a coward and said I wasn't worthy of protecting this expedition.
I see the bloodlust in your eyes. You killed her for that, didn't you?
I would have, and I still want to. But within seconds a great battle ensued, where everyone was fighting each other. Sinistrim against Drakon, Archon against Sinistrim, even Archon against Archon. We Drakon tried to prevent everyone from killing each other, but we were soon overpowered by the mob.
That's why you were imprisoned here?
Unfortunately, yes. But we are Drakon! We won't give up, even against all odds.
That's the spirit.
This is the library of the Shapers. Thousands upon thousands of volumes of knowledge, magic lore and craftsmanship.
Beings of great power.
How does it know where we want to start?
Shaper technology probably reads the mind of the one who touches it, so it knows what kind of information they want to access.
Shh! Dwelling among us, confided that they are beings of
Beings of what?
Arch enemy, maybe?
Archfire.
So, those beings of great power were beings of pure archfire. So maybe that's the source of Sasut's power.
Let's hear some more.
I had to tell my friend Zazut that his companion had... He never stirred once while I told him what happened. He just stood up and left. Could see the sorrow and rage in his eyes. Doesn't he see my friend too?
This doesn't make sense. What did she have to tell Sasut?
It sounds like something dreadful happened.
Maybe his companion was killed.
How could a being of archfire be killed?
Even gods can be killed. Remember Zerbo?
That was just an avatar. We met the real Zerbo and he's very much alive.
We don't know, but it definitely sounds like it. And this friend could very well be Annie Hugh.
Let's hear what the remains of the book can reveal to us.
Nameless demons at our doors. I'm sure it's him. He always had a...
The book's too damaged.
No, there's nothing more to be learned from it.
But we did learn something, didn't we?
Yes, Kane. Sasut is probably a being of archfire, impossible to kill. That's probably why he was imprisoned in the first place. Although, it sounds like his companion was killed in some accident. Maybe even the one that killed Annie Hugh.
He then left the Shaper, only to come back as a warlord, and leading the Nameless into battle against his former friends.
Don't forget Ullum, or Zarak now, who helped the Shapers against Zazut.
We should return to Erion with what we've learned. Maybe he can guide our next steps.
You don't understand.
What is to understand? You are trying to kill her!
No, I'm not. You know what she's like.
Do not meddle with me, brother. It was your idea to imprison her.
She wanted to take over. I couldn't let that happen.
You do not know that.
I do. He gave me the power of knowledge, just like he gave you the power of creation, Ullum.
Do not call me that, brother. I am no longer Ullum, and I cannot see why you wish to offer the friendly hand now.
Yes, you are. You retained your creative ability even though you created abominations.
Do not call my orcs abominations!
I didn't mean the orcs, and you know that. And neither did I mean the Norcane that you made for poor Nor.
Oh, will you please tell me why you brought me up here? You are interrupting my meditations on how to take over the world when you're imprisoned.
Just wait a second.
Erion, we've come from the Citadel with strange findings.
Please do not tell me I was waiting for mortals. Dragon blood, too. The stench is awful.
And who are you?
He's the harbinger of doom. He's the drinker of the world's blood. He is Zarak.
You forget that I'm your creator, Norcane. But I remember you now. You were one of the first I created for my little brother.
I follow the path of knowledge now, not of battle.
Oh, you Drakon with your honor code nonsense. You are spoiling the fun!
If you are Zarak...
If I am Zarak! Who do you think you are, mortal? You're not talking to some cursed...
Calm down, brother.
So, Zarak, maybe you can help us.
And why would I do that? I'm the bad guy here, remember?
Because you already fought Sazut and defeated him.
I should do your work. Sorry, Shaikan. I'm not in the mood.
So you found out about our first battle with Sazut. Very good, Shaikan.
We also found out Sazut is probably a being of pure archfire, and was somehow with the Shapers until an accident killed his companion. But how can a being of archfire be killed?
The Circle was killed, as were the Shapers.
Yes, but while their mortal form was protected by archfire, they weren't made of it.
You didn't tell them? You really didn't tell them?
I wasn't allowed.
Oh, now it is starting to make sense, brother. You are a sly fox, but I give you credit for your wit. Shaikan, maybe I can really do something for you, but I'm not as charitable as my dear brother here. You will have to do something for me first.
And what would that be?
From here, I can finally hear the calls of my people again. One call in particular has roused me, telling me they are under attack.
From the Nameless?
No, Shaikan, from you! One of your warlords is attacking my people. No wonder some people say the word Shaikan is synonymous for traitor!
I will go at once. No one is allowed to attack allied worlds without the consent of the Council. I will stop this atrocity.
Do that, Shaikan. But our opponent has some aces up her sleeve. I will be watching you, and maybe even give you a hint or two when you're there. I haven't had this much fun since the God Wall.
You know our opponent?
And you know her too. Have fun.
Her? Why couldn't he explain?
He seemed to know a lot.
He is a god.
An imprisoned god.
But one who can cause us lots of trouble nonetheless.
I wonder why Arion brought him into the equation.
Me too. It seems out of character, but I've learned one thing so far. Nothing's without meaning. He has his reasons. But we'll have to find out for ourselves. Again.
Stop there!
Orcs!
What did you expect his people to be? Frogs?
I am of the Shaikan Council of Elders, and come in peace.
Oof, oof! Shaikan, surrender your weapons!
Over my dead body!
Kane, we're not here to fight them. We'll come with you, but keep our weapons.
I said...
Do you really think it wise to fight us?
Come with us! Shaikan that do not fight? Who are you?
We are here on an important mission, O Shaman. We request your help.
Why would I help blood traitors?
Because we could easily chop your head off.
Kane! I apologize for my friend. I'm here as an emissary of your god, the great Zarak.
Why should Zarak choose one of your kind as emissary?
As I said, we're on an important mission. A mission that could determine the fate of all EO.
Your words sound truthful, but they are still the words of a Shaikan, and cannot be trusted.
Then test me.
You don't know what you are asking for, Shaikan. Your trial would be the trial of Gorkhan.
Tell me what I have to do.
Your determination honors you, Shaikan. Very well. Bring me the claw and cheekbone and the pelt of a bear, so that I can form the mask of Gorkhan.
That's it? Just bring these materials to you?
At the statue of Gorkhan, you will put on the mask, and this will summon Udrash, the great bear. If you kill him, I will consider your words to be truthful. If not...
I'll be back soon.
Well fought, stranger.
I wish we could have saved more of your men.
Maybe you will. You are the emissary?
So Kor already informed you? Yes, I was sent here by Zarak himself.
Finally, our prayers are answered. We've been faithful for so long, protected it so long. But we are few. We are crushed between those blue demons and the Shaikan.
Blue demons? The Nameless are here too. Typical that he didn't mention that. Yet again, I hear that Shaikan are attacking you. I know that we didn't intend to harm you.
The Blades who just attacked along with the mercenaries. I think I know who is behind this.
Her? Oh no.
The leader of those Shaikan is...
Yasha Ashir.
You are indeed wise, Shaikan. Her soldiers attacked us several weeks ago. They came out of nowhere. Since then, attack after attack beat upon our walls. We held out valiantly.
But with the Blades, she has unlimited reinforcements at her command.
My son, Ragul, he tried an excursion, but he and his men were slaughtered. There is nothing more I can do. I am too old to lead my people into battle. Zarak heard us in our darkest hour and sent a new leader.
I will lead your people, but only temporarily.
Emissary, this is difficult for me. But could you do me a personal favor?
What do you want, Boral?
Ragul, he believed in Zarak's guidance. He believed Zarak when he told him to do the excursion. If you could revive him, somehow.
It is too late for the dragon blood to revive him. But maybe I could give him my blood and try to revive him at an altar of life. Pray to your god that it works. It's never been tried before.
Thank you, emissary.
The blue demons are gathering forces in the north, emissary.
Not now.
If push comes to shove...
They're too strong. We're too weak to meet them, and so are the Shaikan. They need to be warned. The Nameless are to their rear, and Yasha was never one to bother with scouts.
But to get to their camp, we need to get through their defense lines.
Maybe not. Yasha prefers to stay away from the common troops. She's based herself a little southwest of the Shaikan camp.
Then let's pay her a visit.
I think it'll be best.
Yes. And tell the orcs to stop their attacks against the Shaikan while we're away. I don't want this to go awry.
You beat me! You really beat me!
Maybe we can talk now.
I told you I'd hand over command to you, so that's what I'll do.
Yasha, what are you up to here?
Not now, Elder. Your soldiers have to learn about the change in command.
Yasha?
Soldiers of the Shaikan! One of the Council of Elders has joined us here and will take command of our troops. A cheer for the Shaikan!
For the Shaikan!
Now, Fenton, the scroll.
By the gorges of Bargagor. Yasha!
They're gone.
Can anybody tell me why Shaikan go marauding in this orc territory?
She claimed Myrnos had sent her on this expedition, and that it was of vital importance to the Shaikan survival.
Sounds like her.
What else did she claim?
That this statue of a dragon was once a real dragon.
I'm starting to get the picture. This is why he wanted me here.
Yasha also claimed that she found a scroll in the archives of her father, and that its contents could depetrify and reanimate this dragon.
And you believed her? Even though Hokan Ashir was a necromancer?
He also was one of the Circle. If anybody knows that kind of magic, then it was him.
This scroll has to be retrieved. We can't let Yasha get away with this. If she gets to the dragon and makes him her slave, it'll be hard to stop her. Cord, you will be my lieutenant here. Make sure your fortifications are strong, for the Nameless are coming and we'll have to stop them.
Oi! Ugly!
What do you want?
We want the one you call Sariel.
Why would you want her?
If you hand her over, we will promise you a quick death.
If you don't get out of my sight, I promise you an even quicker one.
Our business isn't with you, Hunter.
What makes you think I could in any way accept your offer?
My master said this is what you call diplomacy.
Tell your master he has a lot to learn about diplomacy, and that he won't get Sariel even if she was here.
Yeah, Ugly. She's at the safest place on Io. A place where you get a kicking the moment you show your face.
Kane, stop it!
She's in Westguard.
Your feelings for her are strong, Hunter. You tried to save her once already. Your leader did well to hide her location from me, but now you have betrayed it. Your failure is complete. Diplomacy is interesting, Shaikan. I will try it out again in Westguard.
You miserable little...
Ino thi la krakash kumi. Masantu salemash lekrano el alamio. Ino thi la krakash kumi.
Shaikan, it's working!
Free! I'm free!
Greetings, great dragon.
Greetings, young mortal. I am Jorbal. I sense the blood of a dragon running through your veins. How is this possible?
A long time ago, one of your kind, struck a deal with a human called Malachi. They created a new race of humans, strengthened by dragon blood. We are the Shaikan.
Yes, I heard the orcs speak of the Shaikan, sometimes to the good, but mostly in fear and anger.
We left the path of evil long ago, wise dragon. We would be happy if you could join us in a fight against a new evil that has risen in this world again.
I heard and felt everything within my prison of stone, and I remember the stories about those nameless demons from when I was a young hatchling.
You were imprisoned there.
You seem strangely familiar, young mortal, and we do have something in common. Like your race, I too was once evil by nature. I roamed the lands of Io, doing what I wanted with the young races. When I came here, a shaman called Kul'rath called forth the powers of the earth to kill me. But instead of killing me, the earth swallowed me and petrified my body. I was a statue, unable to move, but capable of hearing and feeling anything that was done to me or this place. I paid a heavy price for my foolishness, and came to a much greater understanding of magic and of mortals.
Will you then abandon the path of the rogue and instead defend this country against the invaders?
I will, descendant of Kul'rath. But my life does not belong to you or your race anymore. It belongs now to the one who freed me.
You're a descendant of Kul'rath, Kur.
I am Shaikan. I'm happy for the dragon, but also sad, for he was the living proof of the greatness of both our people and my ancestor.
Then let's go give some demons a kicking.
Suruka la krakas kumi, masele mashel nol garantiu, Suruka la krakas kumi.
You have stepped into the shoes of your ancestor, Kur. Maybe in a few years this place will be known as the Heights of Kur.
No, Shaikan. It was the knowledge of Kul'rath which I used, not my own doing. But the monument of our greatness has returned. Thank you.
You may now kiss the bride. What? No wedding cake?
What is this, Ragul?
This isn't Ragul, Kur.
What gave it away? It was the joke, right?
We've done as you asked, Zarak. Now, hold up your end of the bargain.
I don't understand. Why are you addressing Ragul as Zarak?
Did I really make you that stupid? I needed a vessel. That's why I drove Ragul to go on an expedition.
You knew all along that we would revive him.
And in the meantime, I weaved a little spell around his soul, so that I could speak through him.
My lord.
Come, Kor. Make this a great place again. A statue, maybe. Or a ziggurat.
Our bargain, Zarak.
Ah, yes. This is why my little brother brought me into this equation. I'm not bound by the Guardian's decision to reveal nothing about us or our past. Let me see. I will tell you 3 things. First, a being of pure archfire can only be killed by another the same. Otherwise, its body will regenerate itself. The energy set free during this process is so great that both beings would probably die. Second, the Guardians themselves are beings of pure archfire. Third.
Wait.
What?
There are 7 Guardians and 2 Renegades, but there were 10 trials at the Stepping Stones, and 1 where strange scenes were played out. Coincidence?
You're not as stupid as you look. I have to give you credit for that at least.
So, there was a 10th Guardian. What became of him? Or her?
Her. Her name was Kerona, and she was as beautiful as Tiara and as wise as Arion. When we first fought Zazut, it became clear that he would not surrender. So, she decided to sacrifice herself to end the battle.
What went wrong?
We would not let her. It would upset the balance and destroy Io. So, we put together all our knowledge and craftsmanship to create 2 great prisons.
One for him and...
One for her, yes. For his prison there was no key, although the Shapers somehow predicted that he would return one day. But Corona's key we split into 3 parts. 3 seals to form 1 key. And we hid them well, in a place you call the Steelcoast.
Malakay's laboratory.
Back then it was a small Shaper facility, researching a realm where nothing was as it was here. We called it the Shadow Realm, and hid one of the seals there.
Do you think she'd still be willing to make that sacrifice?
What are your intentions? To free her? To use her to save your sick little world?
I love this world, but I know that's something you wouldn't understand.
I loved her. I was the one imprisoning her, so do not tell me I know nothing about love.
We will travel to Steelcoast and search for those seals. Will you help us to find them? Zarak.
You mortals have a strange way of going about things. But I do want to see her again. So, I will do as you wish.
Jorbal, will you be able to carry us all the way to Steelcoast?
Yes, young mortal.
No need for that.
I hate it when they do this. Again.
What a terrible place. Foul magic everywhere.
I too would rather have gone elsewhere. Will you be all right, Jorbal?
Thank you for your concern, Shaikan. It will pass.
We should begin the search immediately. I smell danger lurking in every corner of this cursed place.
The Shaikan thoroughly searched this place several years ago. I think we'd have found any hidden dangers.
We found Sariel.
Indeed, Kane. Back then, she couldn't remember a thing about her past. Odd that her memory played tricks with her again after the Wastelands of Sorrow. And now the Nameless asking for her.
My memory was also lost after the Wastelands of Sorrow, if you remember.
Nobody is accusing Sariel. It's just, what do we know about her?
Enough to know that she's not in league with those monsters.
Do we? I thought the same with... never mind.
I know that he was dear to you, and I know that Sariel is dear to me, so I'm not yet willing to give her up as another nameless agent.
I'm sure she'll recover soon, Kane. But I'd love to have her here with her memory restored. She could provide us with some directions.
I was part of the expedition back then, but I doubt I could be of any help.
Maybe the elves who wanted to come to this place to do research are still here.
Elves? What would elves want here?
Will you stop blabbering and start searching?
Careful, renegade, or I will snap off the head of your puppet.
Careful, dragon, or I will turn you to dust instead of stone.
Enough. Zarach is right. We have no time to lose. Jorbal, my friend, will you be able to sense where the seal is hidden?
It won't be easy, as so many rogue energies are loose in this place. But yes, I will be able to tell you when we're near.
That would be of great value. And you, Ragul, will Zarach be able to call forth the invocation through you?
Hello. I'm still listening. Of course I'll be able to do so, mortal.
Then let's go. Jorbal, be careful with the hide of your outer wings. They can be damaged in here.
You know a lot about dragons, Shaikan.
If Kellar hadn't taught me, I wouldn't...
Kellar?
Busy. Searching.
Ragul, your turn.
When will you learn it, mortal? It's not this petty orc doing the magic, it's me!
Well then, Ullum, your turn.
Loktashma arunirktu.
Sounds like gibberish to me.
Well, actually it is, but ritual words often impress mortals more.
Then how do you do it, if not by an invocation?
It's the magic! The magic that flows through the orc. The power of the archfire that will invoke the first seal.
So a circle mage would have been able to invoke the seal too.
Pah! Those puny mages wouldn't even have scratched the surface.
Those puny mages reigned over Io for over 5 centuries.
Had she not given them...
Had who not given them what?
Look, there's the seal.
And some guardian golems too.
If you kill them all, do you think you will get to the seal?
I doubt you'd make it that easy for us.
This isn't of my making. It was my dear brother Neathaf that created this. I doubt that you'd be able to solve it, had I created it.
Jorbal, can you take the seal from in there?
It's pushing me back, Shaikan. I can't get to it.
Oh, can't the poor little dragon get to the seal? Is he going to have a little cry about it?
Silence, Zarach. We can do this.
Sometimes I wish I wasn't made by him.
Relax, Ragul. Let's just solve this, and then move on.
How do you intend to solve it?
We can't reach it from here, so build a bridge or something?
But the golems are in the way.
So let's kill one of the golems and see what happens.
Take one of the golems closest to the seal. I sensed Zarach thinking about them.
Hop on, little one.
What did you just call me?
I'm sorry, Shaikan. Was that inappropriate?
Not at all. Quite the opposite, Jorbal. It felt oddly familiar.
Can't this wait? Let's get the seal.
It's getting closer, Shaikan. I can feel it.
Where is it? In this pool?
No. It's strange. I'm confused. It's there, but it's also not there.
There are strange mechanisms here. Could it be them?
Malachi was an ingenious engineer. Maybe he somehow used the energy of the seal.
Judging by the pulsing magic coming from the first seal, I'm sure there's a lot of energy to be tapped, although I doubt even he knew what he was tapping into.
So where is it?
Probably outside.
Outside?
That's it. An ingenious hiding place. Buried in lava, under molten rock, between burning fires and deadly eruptions. Only a godlike being could reach it.
Or someone who can ride a dragon, little one.
You're really here.
Sariel, how did you know?
I didn't know, Shay. It was just a feeling.
Oh, now this is a surprise. More mortals.
Sariel! How good to see you recovered.
Yes, Kane, I'm well now. You saved us both from grave danger, and I haven't yet been able to thank you.
But you haven't come all the way to Steelcoast just to thank Kane, have you?
You are right, as always. I felt you'd be here, and...
And there's important news about Zazut you had to learn as quickly as possible. We also wanted to know how your mission's going.
We're advancing step by step, Iroh. It's difficult to persuade gods who are unwilling to share their knowledge.
Hopefully you will advance even further. Zazut is trying to move on the Shaikan. It seems he singled us out as the one threat capable of stopping him.
He's moving on the Shaikan? How?
Several times the Nameless tried to open a gate in Westguard, but we were able to destroy them quickly. The dragonfire helped a lot.
Then all of a sudden the attack stopped.
This can't be good.
We thought the same, Kane, so we sent out Drakeling scouts into the surrounding territories.
Based on a theory of Magister Ascan, we feared the Nameless would try to gather strength in one of those territories, and then launch an all-out attack in Westguard with 50 or more portals opening at once.
On the plains of Argan they found them. Hundreds of them. They really are massing forces, and I'm absolutely sure Zazut himself will be leading the attack.
So we set out to gather as many allies as we could on board the city ship, to meet with Zazut's forces on the plains of Argan. When Sariel said she felt your presence here, we came to offer our assistance.
Myself or Shay will join you on your mission. The other will continue to Shal to recruit the Norcane.
And I would have a request of my own, Shaikan.
You too are a Shaikan now, Sariel, remember?
No, I'm not. Of that much I'm sure. I carry your blood, but I'm no Shaikan. What I really am and where I come from has always been in darkness. The events of the Wastelands of Sorrow have opened my eyes.
You want to know who you really are?
If I find out more about myself, I might even become more powerful. I know there's more.
Very well. That is a lot to take in. We proceed as follows. Jorbal and I will venture outside of this facility to reach the second seal. There we will summon Ragul, so that Zarak can invoke the second seal.
Zarak!
You got a problem with that, redhead?
Silence, Orc!
He's with us, so leave it. When we return, we'll try to find out more about Sariel. She's right. We could use a more powerful ally, and I am sure there's more in her than we know.
Right.
I knew you'd come.
Can you tell me more about what I just heard? About K-An, Sariel, and a love gone wrong?
I'm Kane now. Ever since that fateful day on the way to Turganak, for almost a millennium now.
I knew you were old, but not that old.
There's not one day I did not regret what I did to Sariel.
Is that why you persuaded the Council of the Elders to explore Steelcoast some more?
You were skeptical back then already. You knew it wasn't the whole story. If you want, I can tell it to you now.
I'd love to hear that story. Tell me what you can.
Sariel, or rather Sariel, was found by explorers of our kind in the early days of the Hyborian Empire. I was told that it was in some kind of Shaper ruins. Her body was withering away, strands of blue fire running up and down her skin, which was very pale. She was half-conscious and spoke in a strange language none of our scholars could understand. Our best healers set out to perform the Kara Anai, a cleansing and healing ritual that healed her body, but her mind was still far, far away. She chose to stay with us and proved her talent for magic more than once, but our elders knew she was in pain and holding back on her real power, so they decided to send her to Turganak. Our sisters in Turganak have a high discipline, and our elders were sure they would be able to help Sariel focus and maybe even reach her memory buried deep inside of her. Sariel agreed to go, but didn't want to go alone, so the elders chose me as a companion and guard for her on the way to Turganak. They couldn't have made a worse choice, for I was secretly in love with her. Her aura, her blue hair, those strange markings on her skin left by the blue fire. All that stirred the passion in me.
But she rejected you.
Rejection is no word for it. I was smothered by a stream of humiliating words. I will never forget this tirade, but it only stirred my passion, and...
You tried to force yourself on her.
The pain of what her magic did to me is only surpassed by the guilt I feel today about what I had done. But at that time there was nothing I could do. I was hurt, gravely wounded, and so I cursed the gods and called upon the forces of the abyss. Agrazog, a high-ranking demon lord, answered my call. He gave me the powers I now have to hunt, to judge, and to execute.
You used them to hunt down Sariel.
I found her on a barren rock somewhere in the Windwall Mountains. I'm not sure how she got there or what she was doing there. For me, it seemed like she was in a deep meditative state. Remembering her former defences, I approached her, sword raised. All of a sudden, I couldn't move anymore. My feet wouldn't budge, and neither would any other muscle in my body. I beheld that my sword was freezing over. That was when Sariel turned to me, a dangerous little smile on her lips. She stared at me, right at me with her ice-blue burning eyes. I felt my whole body starting to freeze over, and I assumed I was about to die, when everything went black. When I came to, my sword had splintered, and Sariel was gone. I wanted to go search for her, but Agrazog claimed his prize, and so I had to play judge for him. One case was an influential alchemist named Malakay, but he was prepared for me and put me under a spell that made me his willing puppet, although I tried with every fibre to resist him. As you have learned from the memory cards, he probed my mind with this machine of his and found out about Sariel and about her powers. He wanted her for his research.
And you had to find her?
Listen for yourself, Shaikan. I've retained this memory card ever since I snapped out of the binding spell when he started torturing Sariel.
He tortured her?
There was nothing I could do for her, so I fled. But from then on, I became a better judge. You are free to judge me, though. I deserve every kind of punishment.
Living with what you did seems punishment enough, Cain. I really hope it made you a better man. I will consider telling Sariel about your involvement. Thank you for your openness. It shows there's more to Sariel than meets the eye.
We are here, little one.
I'll summon Ragul.
This dragon blood surely is some great juice. I should have used some for my field dog.
Just invoke the seal, Zarak.
I'm impressed with how far you've come, Shaikan. Although Neathaf and Tiara didn't hide the seals very well, you found them in no time.
Well, thank you. Now, carry on.
You really have no doubts about your cat-tailed friend?
No. And now, invoke the seal.
You're such a terrible liar, Shaikan. But enough talk! Behold! The second seal arises!
Show off.
I've prepared the machine. What now?
Insert the memory cards.
I did. Nothing happened.
I feared as much. It needs me on the other side.
Are you still sure you want to go through with it?
I am, Shaikan. But be careful. I'll do my best to lower the defenses, but you'll surely have to fight whatever my mind throws at you.
I think I'll manage.
Then let's do it.
Huh. Where is everybody?
You are inside my mind now, Shaikan. I told you. Prepare to defend yourself. Thank you, Shaikan. I am a new person now.
So, you remember your origins now?
I do.
So?
These memories have been buried for so long, Shaikan. I don't want to drag them to light for everyone to see. At least not yet.
That's a pity, but I won't pressure you anymore. I only hope the time to share your memories and experiences will come soon.
You're back!
Yes, Kane. Or should I say, Kayan. With my whole memory restored, I am finally able to forgive you for what you have done. But I will never forget again.
What's this all about?
It's a long story, Norkane. Not now. What will be your next steps? I assume since there is a second seal, there's a first and a third.
You're right, Sariel. There is a third. But Jorbal wasn't able to sense it anywhere in the whole complex. Yet it should be here somewhere.
What kind of seals are we talking about?
Seals capable of freeing a god.
A god?
Or a goddess, rather. When Sazut raged in Io for the first time, the gods knew that he could only be defeated by another being of pure archfire. But none of them were willing to sacrifice themselves, except for one.
Her name was Corona, the guardian of time. The other gods didn't want her to sacrifice herself, so they imprisoned her in the Icewastes of Shalibar, and created a prison for Zazut in the Wastelands of Sorrow.
Our goal is to free Corona, so that she can do what she offered to do a long time ago.
What an exciting adventure. You wouldn't have room for another companion?
Of course you can come, Sariel. We could use someone with your abilities.
Kane, this is my decision, not yours. I agree, however, that you can come with us. Still, I beg you to reconsider and tell us about your memories and experiences. They could be a valuable asset in our fight against Zazut.
I will think about it. What I am able to share now is that Malachi mentioned a dimensional shift going right through one of the rooms of this complex.
A dimensional shift? You mean like the Shadow Realm?
Possibly. I never heard him mention the shadows, but he was thinking of some security measure which he protected the rift with, so that it wouldn't grow or move.
Did he explore it?
I'm sorry, I don't know. But I guess he was too busy with other things to care too much for it.
Let's search for this room you mentioned, Sariel. Any idea what this security measure looks like?
Again, no idea, Shaikan. All that keeps coming up when I think of it is a cauldron.
Yet another transportation without warning.
You knew a rift was there and that it would open when you deactivated the spell.
I suppose so. This place, what is it?
This must be the Shadow Realm, Shaikan.
How can you tell, Norkane?
When I died, there were thousands of shadows standing around me. Believe me, Orc, I know how that feels. And here it feels just the same.
It's strange. I can't feel the flow of the godly magic anymore as I did back in Steelcoast.
I remember the Soul Carrier telling me about the shadows as beings from another world beyond the stars, so the gods have no power here.
Odd, then, that they would hide one of the seals here.
We are not entirely powerless here, my friend.
Oh, you again?
Yes, me again, Shaikan. And since your flying seal detector doesn't work around here, your only hope of finding the last seal.
What do you suggest?
Find someone who can guide you through this realm. He will bombard you with useless quests, demanding that you carry them out, and only then will he show you where the seal is.
So what would we need you for?
I can tell through the orc whether or not you're being fooled or treated honestly.
Takes one to know one.
Exactly, Kayan. Exactly.
It is as the first shadow foresaw.
You! Where is my daughter?
Craig, please.
This monster knows what happened to my daughter!
And hopefully he will tell us. We are guests in this realm, so please keep calm.
You will get all the answers you seek, Craig, in good time. First, I have to charge you with 2 quests.
What did I tell you?
You have no authority here, God of Destruction. This is where Aernir's light cannot shine.
I'm trembling with fear.
Your brother, Erion, almost bled to death had I not rescued him. The same could happen to you here. I wield the Shadow Blade, a weapon not from this world. How do you think I killed your field dog?
Really? So why haven't you killed Zazut the same way?
I would have, had not the First Shadow ruled that we must not interfere with the affairs of Io, except that which the pact with the Norcane allows.
You mean you could have eliminated Zazut, but your leader forbade it?
The ways of the Shadows are not the ways of the world. We are different in many ways.
Let's get my daughter and the seal and leave this place. I hate this attitude.
Do you hate that we are different, or that my kind killed you?
Does anybody else here want to pick a fight with our shadowy friend? Jorbal? Sariel? Kane?
I'm not your friend, Shaikan, but I obey the commands of the First Shadow.
You're not making it easy. I'm trying to be diplomatic.
I hated diplomats when I was a rune warrior. What makes you think I'd like them now?
Just tell me, what quests I have to fulfill to get some answers?
Very well, Shaikan. There are 2 tasks for you. When Malakay first discovered this world, he tried to tap into the energies of this realm by activating adamantinum collectors. Somehow he knew that adamantinum is fatal to shadows and could not be touched by our kind. This part of the Shadow Realm is very close to your dimension, so the effects of the collectors were minimal, but they've been active for over a millennium now, and might damage the thin fabric between our worlds.
How do I deactivate them?
Just absorb the energy by touching them.
This will mean certain death.
You're a Shaikan, aren't you? So what's the big deal?
And you thought I was cruel?
As a side effect of Malakay's tampering with our realm, several creatures, demonic and otherwise, have entered our world. They have been driven mad in this dimension and must be killed.
And you couldn't by any chance kill them yourself?
Our kind relies on stealth, not strength, Hunter.
Yes. Why risk your own lives when you've guests willing to risk theirs instead?
Report back to me when you've fulfilled your tasks. I'll be in our city to the south.
If we weren't guests here, I'd kill this blade wielder with my bare hands!
Please, Craig, calm yourself. Night Song needs you now.
I'd crush his head, What? Night Song needs me?
She stands on the brink of a very difficult decision, and you could be part of that decision.
How? What? Where?
She has not been totally transformed into a shadow. There's still a way to transform her back.
Then why haven't they done so already? Of course she wants to be changed back.
That's what she's unsure about, and why she asked me for help in that decision.
She asked you? And not her father? What is this?
She needed an unbiased judge to help her, not one to force her hand.
If I didn't hold you in such high esteem, Shaikan, I would kill you on the spot for your insolence.
Stop playing the wronged lover and start acting like a father.
But I am. Or would anyone else burn in such a way for his daughter like I do now?
Then calm down and think of ways to show your daughter why she should choose her life as Empress, with all its restrictions and duties, over a life of freedom that she can have in this realm.
This is no freedom, but just another form of slavery.
She has to believe in it, Craig, and not be forced into it by a dying father pressing the seal of the Norcane into her hands.
I always taught her how important it is to care for our people. I showed her the rifts that were opening if the castes were left to themselves and not led by a strong hand. I told her about the heritage of our creation. How Zarak created the Norcane as a gift for his brother, whom we serve. I think these things must still be important to her, for otherwise she might already have decided to remain a shadow.
I will try to find evidence of this to show your daughter. Maybe this will help her decide.
Thank you, Shaikan. Forgive an old father for losing his temper.
There's nothing to forgive, Craig.
This is the place where...
Look at this creature.
The seal is in its belly.
Jorbal, can you catch it?
I can, little one.
You knew it was there, Blade Wielder.
Did I? Well, you'd better pursue it, hadn't you?
What a hostile land.
Indeed. The gods chose well for their prison. I feel their magic everywhere.
What do you mean?
They corrupted this place. I imagine it was once beautiful, but their magic has turned everything to ice and every mind to hatred. It cuts me deeply. I can't fly here. I must land now.
Jorbal, no!
Look, there's a Norcane stronghold over there.
I wonder what they're doing here. They can't be here voluntarily.
Don't underestimate my people, Demon Hunter.
Look, they're under attack. Let's find out what's happening.
When darkness is deepest.
The Silver Weaver will guide your way.
I never dreamt to see another Norcane again, let alone the leader of our caste. Be welcome, Craig and Shalak.
I thank you, Dracon. It is good to see you too. It's Tal Shalir, isn't it?
I'm honored you remember me, Dracon. I take it these are your faithful servants, my lord.
Servants?
Actually, Dracon, I'm their companion. This determined Shaikan is the leader of our group.
Astonishing. Why do you travel with such a strange party of blood traitors and filthy orc scum?
Watch your tongue, Tal Shalir. We are on a noble quest to save all of Io. And here is where it all comes together. But tell me, what brings you to a place like this?
I still don't understand, but I will comply to your wishes, my lord. 10 years ago, an archaeologist named Nolas Rash found the bones of a dragon in the swamps around Draklur. He claimed that with these bones and the magic of 20 necromancers, it would be possible to create a ship able to travel the elemental sea. People called him a visionary, but I called him for what he was, a fool. He wanted to find the Ring of Nor, a legendary artifact which could bring anything back to life. 400 people wanted aboard. 400 people. And I was ordered by the High Archon to accompany them with some of my men. 40 soldiers to guard 400. Rash said we'd have to follow the magic of the gods, and built a special device for that purpose. When we landed here, everybody was very excited. I was troubled, for I sensed danger. And on the very first morning, they came.
They?
Undead. Not like any undead we'd ever summoned ourselves, but ruthless pirates with an instinct to hurt and kill. They were on us in a heartbeat. Many of my men died, as did many of the passengers. We sought refuge up here on the glacier, where we could defend the entrances of the caves. My last sorceresses died building up a magical barrier that would hold off the undead.
And Rash?
On our way up here, we were attacked by a large wolf. I've never encountered such an animal before. It felt like battling a god. This wolf, it just tore Rash's head off his shoulders.
How did you escape?
We managed to enter the caves, and the wolf just disappeared. I immediately set up our defenses, which was a good idea, since the wolves started attacking only minutes later. Since then, we've put down roots here, especially after this strange transformation happened to us 8 years ago.
So, the pact with the shadows reached you even here?
I don't know of any pact, but those creatures were fast and invisible, even to the wolves. They're the reason we're still holding out. With them, we could even extend our dominance towards the sea to gather some fish.
You didn't seem to be holding out that well when we just saved you not so long ago.
You are not mistaken, Demon Hunter. Only a few days ago, the attacks of the wolves grew fiercer and fiercer. We even saw that giant one again. but it didn't attack.
Shaikan, if we could help these people, they might very well help us in our quest.
I see that, Craig. Very well, we'll help. We could use some support later on.
Thank you, my lord.
You're not dead.
Yes, but why aren't you?
That was a good one, kiddo.
We could change that, Joker.
No, you couldn't. Even if you'd take me down right here on the spot, I'd be up and about in no time.
Even undead can be killed. I have done it before.
You're a witty one, Greenskin, eh? And what if I tell you I can't be killed? Any undead killed here is immediately resurrected at one of those ships.
It's the magic of the gods. Their corrupting spell has even harmed the undead.
Gods? There ain't no gods here. Only that damned lich up there. It's his magic that fuels our constant resurrection.
Explain, or die, scum!
You pals really need it written down, do ya? I can't die. I'd love to, really. After a couple of 100 years, you get bored of always fighting.
A couple of 100 years? What happened?
I really don't have time to explain, kidder. You see, I'm commanding a war here, and that's not going to be done by sitting down and talking.
But as you're always resurrected...
You're the smart one, kiddo, aren't you? So, couple of centuries ago, I sailed here with 3 ships. We were on some noble quest I forgot the point of about 200 years ago. Well, we landed here and were swarmed by undead. One by one, my men fell to the endless stream of undead warriors.
Couldn't you just sail back?
One of our ships tried, but the current's too strong. Trapped here we are. That ship ended up at one of those small islands in the bay. But whatever's on it killed anyone who ventured off the ship. I had an idea, though. This lich that was commanding those undead, he had some sort of crystal that he kept close by him. So I thought it might be of some value, or even magical, and I stole it from him. But it was worth nothing. Not even a single spark could we get out of that damned crystal. And damned we were. For when the lich noticed that the crystal was missing, he levelled his cursed magic upon us. And so we're doomed to fight and die and live again, never to see the River of Souls.
Looks like we're facing yet another obstacle to freeing Corona. What comes next? A giant rainbow golem? And there is Corona!
Welcome back to the world, Guardian.
Where am I? When is this?
This is the time of your demise. Die, snake!
Sariel! No!
Ah!
What the...
It was her companion. Zazut planned.
Corona. No.
She's unconscious, Shaikan, but not dead.
And Sariel?
Gone.
Let's head directly to the plains of Argan. We can discuss matters there.
I wish we were there already.
Your wish has been granted.
Dracon, what are you doing here?
I am as surprised as you are, Shaikan. I was discussing our new situation with my lieutenant, when in a sudden flash of light, the ice wastes disappeared and we were here. I'm not sure what's worse, the ice or those trees.
Cheer up, Dracon. A glorious battle awaits you and your men.
I don't see anything glorious in battling Sariel.
Now we know why she didn't reveal anything of her regained memory. She wanted to thwart our plan to gain Corona as an ally.
It's also strange. I knew that Sariel was withholding information, but that she'd be an enemy all along.
She fooled us all.
Do you think she's the mysterious companion Zazut lost in the City of the Shapers?
It makes sense. That's why the Nameless asked for her in the Depths of Kul'rath.
This is no time to talk. We have to act. Dracon, will you and your men follow my command?
We're at your disposal, Shaikan. When the fate of Io is at stake, there's no room for petty conceit.
Well said. Follow me.
Keep coming, keep coming. We're not many, but the clans will stand their ground.
Here at last? You always take so long arriving for battle.
Son of a dog!
Cain, these people are our allies. I'm glad you could make it here, Ul'dan, although I hoped for more reinforcements.
Shaikan, it's good to see you too. It's all we could spare from what's left of our once great nation, but we are friends and allies, and a friend in need is a friend indeed.
Very noble, I'm sure.
Welcome, my children.
What's this? Why is a simple foot soldier addressing us like that?
Because you are my children. If I didn't need you, shaman, I'd crush your body and feast upon your blood.
My lord, forgive the insolence of your otherwise faithful servant.
Calm yourself, Zarak. You said you needed him. What for?
Corona. She can't take on both of them. Not without sufficient power.
What do you mean, both of them?
Not only Zazut is a being of pure archfire, but so is Sariel. Is that not so?
She is, Norcane. I can give her more power with which she might be able to handle them. But for that I need a place to gather the energy.
We will sacrifice our lives for you, my lord.
You will do no such thing, Ul'dan. Let him explain.
These woods are old, but even older is a shrine dedicated to who I once was. It was built before this was a forest, when it was a plain of endless beauty. I used to create little crystalline butterflies that danced in the sun. She liked them, and slowed time so that we could glance at every single movement that reflected the rays of the sun.
Get to the point, evil thing.
Dedicate this old shrine to my new self, and I will be able to reach you, and give Corona the power she needs to vanquish both our foes. And as I feel quite generous today, you may want to take a look at those towers. They might come in handy.
This must be the shrine.
These are runes I do not know.
I've seen such runes, but they are extremely old.
As much as I'd like to give you a lesson in history, there is no time to lose, mortals.
Are you sure about this? This is very ancient magic.
And I'm an ancient being myself, mortal. Remember.
I will start the invocation now. For Zarak. There are nameless forces in the vicinity, little one.
Make haste! Make haste!
Nach Gadahu, Zarak Lagtash, Mori Gadahu, Zarak Nak Mori. Nach Gadahu, Zarak Lagtash, Mori Gadahu, Zarak Nak Mori.
It's working. I feel it. I can almost slip through.
What does he mean, slip through?
I don't know, but this weapon that appeared seems very powerful.
It is, Shaikan. If you but wait a moment, I will be there to thank you myself.
Zarak, what are you up to? Zarak?
I can't feel him anymore. Oh, Oh, this is strange.
May Hirin guide your way to the Morduin, and may Aeonia's light always shine on you.
There ain't going to be too much light where we're going with them, Shaikan.
You will release them when we're done here, you promised.
Sure, kiddo. But now let's give those demons a beating they won't forget. I've plenty of corpses. You just tell me where to strike.
There they are, little one. Look.
You seem extraordinarily calm, given that we've just destroyed your strongholds.
And what makes you think we should be afraid of you, mortals?
Maybe the fact you're outnumbered 20 to 1?
We could still take you if the odds were 200 to 1.
Even if I am part of the equation?
You!
Yes, me. And I will take on both of you.
You're still weak, Guardian of Time. You could not devour me now, even if you wanted to.
And you're not alone anymore, my love.
You forget that I am not alone either. Shaikan, for my sacrifice, I need you to weaken them, so that I could take out both at once.
Sacrifice? What kind of game is this?
She's manipulating them, don't you see? There's only one way to end this. Attack!
Manipulating them? What do you mean?
No, this can't be. Cain! Shaikan, don't you see?
No time for talk anymore.
Sasut, what did you mean by manipulation?
This was her plan all along, Shaikan. Not to sacrifice herself, but to devour us. To become more powerful than any other being on Io. More powerful than any of the Guardians ever were. But I won't let this happen. I'm sorry, my love. Your time is up, Guardian of Time.
No, not that way!
No! Shaikan, bring him here! Bring him here so that I can kill him as his love killed mine!
I don't think that's such a good idea.
I did not ask for your opinion, Shaikan. I want to crush him, murder him, rip his intestines out, drink his blood, and burn him to ashes! Then...
I get the picture, Zarak. Sazut, can you...
His rage knows no boundaries now, Shaikan. We should retreat to the shrine.
I will crush your bones, little mortal. Murder you, rip out our intestines, drink your blood, and burn you to ashes.
I think I heard something like that before.
Look around you, mortal. All your friends and troops are gone. It's just you and those weaklings that you call your companions. Who is outnumbered now?
With all our might, with all our heart, we struggled.
We were only a remaining few, but our determination equaled Zazut's rage.
Our valiant battle was rewarded. We struck blow after blow, and blinded by his rage, Sasut followed us to where we wanted him.
Well done, children, said Erion. Time for us to be guardians again, not only observers.
With a sad look towards his brother, Erion stepped up towards Sazut. Then Zarak, weary from battle, said,
A new dawn is coming, brother. One that needs creation, not destruction. Be part of it.
Arion worked spell after spell, weaving a web, trapping Zazut, who howled in rage and frustration.
He knew he was defeated, just as Arion knew he would make his final sacrifice for the people of Io.
The mortals he loved so much. A gigantic flash of light blinded us, and they were gone.
What remained was Zarak. But he wasn't Zarak anymore. He was different.
Silly old fool, Balum said, with a choked voice. I will be part of it, just to prove you right.
So, this is how it will end, Agtha?
No, Hokan. This is just one possible future.
But an interesting one, if you have any thoughts about killing a god.
Free again. Thank you so much.
You're Professor Twiddle, aren't you?
The very same. Why are you here? I have no idea why they carried me around. They didn't even bother to interrogate me.
When we left you, you wanted to put the finishing touches to your machine. What happened?
Ah, my demon-hunting friend, you're here too? Good. I only know part of the story, so forgive me if I can't explain everything in detail.
Take your time, Professor.
The minute you had left for the dugout, we were under heavy attack by the Nameless. They must have known that you'd venture down there. Our forces weren't enough. The elves fought valiantly, but to no avail. Some were left alive, probably to set up some trap later. I don't know. The others were killed, or fled into the woods. The Nameless kept an odd distance from these woods. I was badly wounded by some chosen. When they tried to finish me off, a hissing sound rang out behind them, and they left me lying there. A nameless figure, I believe they are called soul-benders, then approached me. I couldn't move. He stretched his hand out towards me and touched my forehead. A whirlwind of ideas, images, sounds, and colors filled my brain, and I had to close my eyes, witnessing what was happening in awe and fascination. When I opened my eyes, I noticed I was staring at a perfect copy of myself. I started to sputter out question after question, but the other me just looked me in the eye, remaining totally silent. I wonder what became of him.
The Shadow Warrior killed him.
Oh, what a pity. From a scientific point of view, of course.
What happened then?
They held me prisoner and cared for my needs, but nothing more. They didn't interrogate me or even talk to me.
Very strange, Professor.
Yes, Shaikan. It was all very strange. They seemed to wait for something to happen. Maybe they wanted to learn about my time.
What, in...
Who's this?
The Professor.
Much too many ears. No talk.
He's gone.
Again. Very strange.
Right on time, Shaikan.
And with the ingredients, no less.
Well done. Place them there on the table. Hold on a second.
What the...
Another one?
Ouch! That itches. Can't you get the calibration of the iridium geodes right? Stop whining and look how I got us here just at the right moment again.
1, 2...
3, 4...
There's 4 of you.
And at least one is a fraud. It's probably this fellow who kidnapped me to the future. He can't even get the right calibration of the iridium geodes. No, it's probably you. I've never been so whiny.
Why don't we let our friends here decide? They have shown some intriguing scientific insight.
You chose us to be the arbiter of an impossible decision. All 4 of you could be the real Twiddle, and all 4 could be abroad. Still, you've given me some hints as to how to solve this problem. You're all connected through time. Each of you stems from a different timeline, but you have one root. As with any illness, you have to eliminate the root to eliminate the whole disease. So, I beg your forgiveness that I will now kill you by killing the one Twiddle from my timeline.
Didn't I tell you there's talent here? But if we're all dead, what good will that do? Have I really once been that stupid? He's Shaikan. I'm not in favor of this decision. It hurts too much.
I'm sorry, Professor. It's the only way.
What? My ingenious plan gets the portal running again and you get a reward? Where's the justice in that? You say you did something too? Some legwork, maybe? All right, take this Twiddlium ring and that's it. But I still think it's not fair.
Thank you, Shaikan, for fulfilling my wish.
I wish we hadn't stood on opposite sides.
Elen has charged us to bury your remains here, on this island.
I'm grateful. Would you do me one last favor?
Yes, if I can.
We predators have always been rivals for the favor of our goddess. With me gone, the cats now have the upper hand.
This wouldn't have anything to do with those cats around here, would it?
They are angry that Elen grants me an honored burial here. Perhaps you could chase them away.
Kill them, you mean?
You're a hunter. You understand.
I understand that we should even the odds between cats and wolves again.
I knew you'd understand, Shaikan. Farewell.